Hello there, nice to see you all again. Today, we got some songs from Eurovision from the country of Slovenia that I want to talk about. I'm gonna put them in the different tiers that you see on the screen right now. Without further ado, let's just get right into it because there's quite a lot of them here. I think there's like 28 or something. So Slovenia is quite a constant participant in Eurovision, and we're gonna start off with their debut all the way back in I believe this is 1993. It looks like the 1993 stage, which is a song that I mean, you can't really see much on the screen, but I'm assuming that you're familiar with most of these songs if you're watching these lists. This one I really like. I love the guitar segments in this song. There's like a nice guitar melody that comes in after the choruses, which is just fantastic. The intonation of this melody and just the flow and the sound of it, the way that it's played, it's fantastic. Like the structure of this song a lot. The chorus is very upbeat and very joyous, which kind of threw me off the first times I heard the song. But the more you just listen to it, and the more that you grow accustomed to it, the more I started digging it. And I like the verses of this song a lot. I think the atmosphere is definitely there. Nice progression, well written song, just kind of lifts my spirits as well. Well sung, well performed. It's a really great one, and it's a really great debut, I think. Way to kick things off for Slovenia here. I think that what's kind of the a standout thing about it as well is how typically like 1993 it is, or even typically 80s it is with the. I mean, you know what I'm thinking. Like the clothing choices kind of stand out in this entry. I'll say that much. It's a bit of a fun thing to look back on, but for the song that's here, I'm very fond of it. Nice one. 1995 is also a nice one. It's very kind of dramatic. It got them a very good result, Slovenia. 1995 is such a strong year that I don't really think that it should have been that high in the list, but that doesn't make the song any less good. I think it's a really great effort. Very powerful ballad, strong, emotionally driven, very dramatic, almost to the point where it's a bit too much for my personal liking, but I'm still quite fond of it. Um, it's just vocally quite impressive as well. Just has a drive to it that I'm really fond of. So I think that's a really great one as well. In 1996, I would not really consider it to be equally great. This is just all right. I don't have too much to say about it, honestly. It just kind of goes on for 3 minutes and then I've forgotten about it. It's the I like it but category, I guess, because there's like in this whole song of the context of it, it's all right. It's a pleasant listening experience, but I just never remember anything about it afterwards, other than perhaps the green dress, because it's like just piercing through the screen with how green it is. So I think we'll have to put it there. 1997, I think, is stronger. This has like drama to it, which I'm quite fond of. And I'm liking the instrumentation of this one. The soundscape's really nice. Well sung. I think it's a solid effort. Lighting on stage is beautiful, as with most songs from 1997, in all honesty. It's such a beautiful stage. And a lot of countries really utilized that opportunity with the lighting. But the song, it's dramatic. It's quite what do you call it? Like it's not too outstanding in any regard, but it's still just a nice progression to follow along with and to just take in, I think. And they kind of continued with the drama that they've established here for a few entries. 1998 is a hidden gem in my book. I don't really remember the title of this song as now. It doesn't look very like professional, I guess, when you just see the performance and look at it on stage. But while the song that they got here, it's so melodramatic. It's like really kind of sorrowful. Doesn't really lift your spirits in any way, but I think it's a great portrayal of a sadness, of a dramatic undertone darkness. It's melancholy. I think it's a fantastic effort. The vocal style is a bit like on the raspy side, but I think that kind of fits the raw atmosphere that the song tries to establish. Loving the instrumentation on this one in particular. Both the piano and the guitars are great in this song. Um, Actually, really love it, and there's a bit of a grit and drive to the chorus as well, which really just elevates it. But I think the toned down and real dark verses are really the standout part of this song. I think it's a fantastic one. in all honesty. And a very easily forgotten song, unfortunately, in my opinion. 1999, this was a good result for Slovenia, again with the drama. It's like an overly authentic drama here, I think. This one is just a bit too much for me, personally. It's very overdramatic. But then when you kind of just take it, like, sometimes when I listen to it, I just kind of get dragged into it, and sometimes I'm very distant towards it. It's depends on the day, I guess. But I think the instrumentation has something in it, like the instrumental that backs the vocal up. It's very grand and very over the top, but at the same time, it offers a little bit of a harmony to the vocal melody, which I think is quite strong. There's a nice combination of things working here. Over dramatic, as I said, but still not without its qualities, like with strong qualities. I think everything just evens out and makes me want to put it in the middle because I think it's solid. But yeah, I'm not over the moon for this one in any way, but it's still quite strong. Something that is very strong is Energy from 2001. This is intense. It's like the overall ambience of the song is just so palpable. I love the dark undertones in the song. The drumming is intense. It's explosive. Loving the piano section towards the end where the piano solos kind of just take over. It's a great way to continue building off of the energy that you establish in the choruses. And then it just kind of goes all over, kind of haywire towards the end. Loving the thunder break or whatever you call it, where she shouts energy and the music kills and you got this thunder hit. And then it keeps going with this just intensity from the percussion mainly. And then there are also these like synthesizers that are very, in the sound design, they really stand out. I think it's fantastic, well performed, uh, gorgeous layout on stage. It just everything just works here. It's flawless, really. Love Energy to bits. 2002, I mean, it stands out. Song-wise, it's not really there for me personally. I don't get a lot out of it, but it's a tacky performance. It's a bit fun, so I guess it's an I like it. But I think the song is very unremarkable. Doesn't really give me a lot, but it's a performance to remember. So that's something for them. Don't have much more to say about it, to be honest. 2003, I have even less to say about. This is just, I mean, the instrumental sounds like a typical like cell phone ringtone from the mid 2000s. The chorus is almost annoying. The choreography on stage looks a bit like there's an attempt, but it's not really polished, and it's just nothing really works here. The cohesion is lacking. The production quality is horrendous. No, not for me, not at all. 2004, what? Yeah, like if you just see this photo, you don't know what it is. I don't remember the song title. I don't really remember much about the song. Very anonymous, very lackluster. No, no, not for me. 2005 is much more up my alley. Stop by Omar, I think his name was. Powerful vocal performance. Love the intensity of the music here. The instrumental is hard hitting. It's raw. It's like the distorted guitars are very in your face. Sound great. Drumming is solid. Like the whole like the restrained verses that are piano driven, and then the vocal becomes so like carries all of the character in the song. Really great effort. Like also the woman standing up on the big column offers a layer of something else to it. Staging looks solid enough, like the lighting is great, and yeah, just a really great entry altogether. Undeserved non-qualifier, if you ask me. 2006, I think this could also be considered like an undeserved non-qualifier, but you have to kind of remember that in 2006, only 10 songs qualified from the semi. I don't really recall what songs did qualify. But I've always kind of liked Mr. Nobody here. It has a chorus that I think has a very, very strong melody. Performance-wise, this is very weak. It's not staged well at all. It screams 2006. I mean, wasn't 2006 also the year where Albania had a very good song with a incredibly lackluster performance. Same thing goes here. Here there's a little bit more choreography and things going on stage, but I mean, just you can just look at the clothing. He's wearing jeans on stage. It doesn't really look, no. But the song is there. I'm liking it. Melodically, it's nice. There's an energy to the chorus, which I'm quite fond of. Nice structure. It just works. Solid effort. Wasn't quite enough to get them to the final, unfortunately. In 2007, they did make the final, though, Slovenia, with a song that absolutely stands out. Just never really my type of music somehow, which is kind of weird because sometimes like this electronica combined with an operatic vocal approach really just works for me. I mean, you know the song from the Fifth Element, "Love It to Bits." This one isn't really, I guess, that electronic, but it still has that like punching drum machine beat that just keeps going, which also really works with a very impressive vocal style. So I have to appreciate it, and I do always enjoy it when I listen to it. It's just that I never really set myself out to listen to this song. Performance is quite great. The lighting on stage is nice. Yeah. Uh, I think I can't put it above solid, can I? I don't think it's that amazing, honestly. Like melodically, it doesn't really interest me all too much. The vocal arrangement is nice, but I don't think the instrumental either carries maybe enough variety to really work in the song's favor. It's just kind of electronica and that's it, like a placeholder, unfortunately. But it's a strong effort. It's just that maybe it doesn't really click with me per se. Um, in 2008, something like Vragna Same or something like that. Catchy hook, nice little idea with the choreography, but everything looks very underwhelming. I think the stage performance is, even though there's an effort made here, it just comes across without like the professionalism of a lot of other songs did in 2008, which I think is its own downfall, really. Catchy hook, so I'll have to put it here because there are things about this one that I like, but it's just not enough to really work for me, unfortunately. I think that if you compare it to Mr. Nobody in 2006, because they kind of lack of the same thing, that's the performances that are very underwhelming. But I think Mr. Nobody had a stronger hook, had a stronger instrumental mainly. I think the instrumental is a bit lackluster in this one. And it relies a lot on just the catchy chorus. 2009 Love Symphony. I mean, it's an approach that kind of works. I like the fact that it's something different. I like the string arrangement, but at the same time, it just doesn't interest me enough to keep my attention for 3 minutes. I would feel a bit harsh to put it in the not for me category, but that's kind of where I actually want to put it because I think it's not on par with the songs above it. Yeah, I'll have to put it down there. Vocally, it's all right, but there's just not enough memorability to this one, which is weird because it's such a unique concept, I guess, for the context of the contest. But no, didn't really work for me, even though it's well thought out. I think like the staging as well works, but no, it's not enough. 2010 doesn't work at all. This is one of my least favorite songs in the modern era of Eurovision, or however you define the modern era. I don't know what if you have a year that you consider making the switch to modern, but I think I would probably consider maybe 2009 to be kind of a year that goes from the mid 2000s era into a more modern era, and then maybe we have another modern era now, like an even more modern era. But yeah, if I would consider this modern era, this is definitely among my least favorite songs from that period. Just nothing about this one. It's messy, it's shouty, it's just kind of annoying in all honesty. I can never sit through this one. Nope, big no, big no, big no. 2011, much better. No One. Great attitude, great like just sassiness of the whole thing. The instrumental is strong. The vocal performance is fantastic. The backing vocals are out of this world. They add so much character to it. Love the ending when it's the backing vocals taking over and the main vocalist is just standing there in the middle, kind of just taking everything in. It looks very assertive. I just love those small moments. It's just a collection of everything there towards the end where I just feel all of this attitude and power showering over me. It's a great performance. It's a great song. I also love the way the backing vocalists kind of walk out from the stage again as the instrumental just picks up with the strings. The string arrangement is really cool in the song. I like it a lot. It's very Bond-esque in a way, I guess. And you also have this camera like panning out while they walk away. Oh, it looks great. It's fantastic. I can't. Of course it is. It's fantastic. Ah, yikes. 2012, I believe, is Verjamen. A nice little ballad. Unfortunately, it doesn't really leave enough of an impact, I think, which is unfortunate, but it's still quite solid. Yeah, solid. I don't think it stands out too much, but it's a pleasant listening experience for the 3 minutes. It has some drive in it. There is like the typical instrumental from Balkan ballads is there. It just doesn't do anything super interesting with it, unfortunately. But solid, I'd say that much. 2013 is not solid. Straight Into Love is straight up horrible. It goes straight into the What Happened Here category. The dubstep approach of the instrumental is the worst attempt at a dubstep approach I think I've heard, at least in Eurovision, that's for sure, because the sound quality is horrendous on these whoop whoops. Vocal performance is weak, doesn't really work with the song either, but I think the instrumental is just the main letdown here. It sounds horrendous. It's proper awful electronica. Unfortunately, I'm always very open for electronic music to join into Eurovision. I usually tend to like it, but here it's just massive no. 2014, I believe this one was called Round and Round. I always forget that this song was actually in the final, because believe me or not, it was. It's one of the most forgettable songs in the final, I think. 2014 is not really a year for me anyway, but this song doesn't do anything wrong. That's the thing. It just doesn't really do anything that makes me remember it either, unfortunately. There's a chorus here, which has a nice melody. There's a nice rhythm to it. I don't really think the intonation is all that great, but the rhythm of it is cool. Like the incorporation of the backing vocals, like the incorporation of I think it's a flute that she plays on throughout the song. But there's not much more to it. It's solid, but not much more for me. But something that is much more, 2015, Here For You. Love the piano arrangement, love the strings, like the I think it's a violin that they keep throwing into the song. Interesting concept with her wearing headphones while singing the song. I mean, the stage performance, you kind of remember it, but I just like the whole cohesion of the song. In all honesty, the melody is great. Like the chorus has a very like the melody of the chorus really just sticks in my head very easily because of how well it flows along with the rest of the song as well. The verses have a great groove to them. Like it's very snappy. Really keeps a great rhythm and keeps up the energy very well. And then the chorus is just a continuation of that with a quite a nice intonation into the melody that also flows well with the rhythm. Yeah, and then how it goes over into the instrumental break as well. It's very seamlessly. Really great. I don't think I can put it in. No, it's really great. It doesn't really have enough of outstanding qualities for me to put it higher. It doesn't have any intensity. It's just very mellow pop song with just a great hook and not much more. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like I need something extra that really just sparks something within me for me to put them in the top categories. This is just really great with no flaws, really. 2016, Blue is Blue and Red is Red. And this is simply not for me. It's typical for its style, but it's just so underwhelming and uninteresting for me. Kind of despise the part towards the end where she's just saying yeah, 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 yeah with long notes. It's so uninteresting. Just keeps going, and then, you know, when your main hook of the song is the lines blue is blue and red is red. No, it's not for me. I don't like it. Sorry. It's cute, but I don't like it. 2017, On My Way. I don't really like this either. The vocal performance is really good. Does that warrant me putting it here? I don't really think it does, because this song just doesn't work. It's very, I guess not monotonous, but a bit repetitive and uninteresting. Just keeps going. Vocally, it's impressive. There is a segment towards the end where the vocals are really shown off, but overall, I mean, this is still 2017. I mean, you can do better in 2017 than this, I think. 2018, Falane was never really my type of song. I'm not super big on the minimalistic drops like this, where it just kill the music and keeps like a very minimalistic beat to be kind of the hype builder of the drop. The build-up is great. Drop is a disappointment in my opinion, but the performance kind of makes up for it, I guess. Solid. Not much more than that, in my opinion. I don't think it stands out massively. Not sure if I really would have had it in an ideal final from 2018, but if I do remember correctly, this song was in the weaker semi, so I guess I don't really have a grudge with it making it. But yeah, it's not too interesting to me, but it has some qualities. Performance is good. Drop is very anticlimactic, unfortunately, but yeah, what can you do? Sebi, 2019. This song has a lot of fans, and for good reason. The sound production quality, I think, is very strong here. I'm liking the whole like listening experience of this. Like with headphones, if you just can't get to zone out with the way that the song is produced, I think it's quite great. It's a minimalistic approach with very dynamic sounds and the playfulness in that sense as well. Unfortunately, I mean, the staging is very, very pretty, but it's also becomes very uninteresting when I see it live. I don't really get invested into it. I need to be able to zone out myself when listening to this song in order to enjoy it to its fullest potential. But when I can do that, I really enjoy it. I think that it should be highlighted that the sound quality and the like the whole overall music experience of this is quite strong. So we'll put it in the really great category, even though I don't really get that much enjoyment out of it. But it's a nice listening experience if you just listen to the song, I think. 2020, Voda. I think this one is the stronger of the two. Anna, I don't remember her name, but you know that it's the same woman here in those two photos, right? I think that Voda is the stronger song. I like the kind of reverbed percussive hits that the chorus has. The chorus also has a melody which, well, it's very dragged out, but it still has some kind of identity to it, and I think there's a power in the evolution of the instrumental behind it. It's an I like it but, because I think the song is very anonymous as well, but there is something here. The atmosphere is a plus. There's like a very mellow ambience that I'm fond of, but other than that, vocal performance is of course strong, but yeah, you can't do much with only that, and that's what happened in Amen, I think the song was called. She shouted hallelujah a lot of times, and it's not for me. Even though she sings it well and the staging is alright, it's just not for me, no. Disco, however, is for me. This is Slovenia's worst result to date, which is yeah. People didn't click with Disco. I don't hold a grudge, but I think songwriting wise, this is just way too fun and way too interesting to just kind of shrug away. It's a fantastic piece of music with a not so fantastic. The performance is alright. I like the charm of it. Like, they know what they're doing. They know that they're not there to showcase some professionalism. They know that they're there to kind of look like a school band, just having fun. And that's what they're doing. Liking the keyboard player a lot in this, to be honest. He's so in your face all the time, and I think he's really funny. Maybe that's not his intention, but I get that vibe from him. It seems fun to be around, I think. And I just kind of like that goofiness of the performance as well. They know that the song that they have, they're well aware of what a complex song they've written. Complex, maybe not complex, but it takes twists and turns, and it's been creatively put together. They had fun writing it because of the changes and variation that goes on throughout the song, and they what do you call it? Like, they emulate that through the screen as well. It's just that maybe it's a type of music, and it's also a type of performance that a lot of people will just think is not too interesting, and I completely get that. I wouldn't think this was very interesting either if it wasn't for the chords, you know, the like a lot of things in this, and the structure as well, I think is really great with the breakdown towards the end and how it builds up the energy again. But you know, it is what it is. That's my Slovenia tier list in Eurovision. We're nearing the end. I think there are only 6 more to go after this. And I will hopefully, I hope to see you in all of those 6, starting with Spain tomorrow. So do be on the lookout for that if you're interested. Yeah, other than that, take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.